Travis Hunter won the Heisman in 2024, but college football 25 doesn't even have him on the final ballot. Instead, Will Howard took home the trophy. 89 overall, 83 speed, 93 throw power, and a star-studded cast of receivers at Ohio State like Jeremiah Smith. Will Howard beat out Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Darian Mensah, and John Mateer. The big 6'4" Pennsylvania kid slung it for 3,500 yards, 39 tutties, 5 ints on a 67% clip, while plunging in 560 big ones and 4 touchdowns on the ground. That is pretty gosh darn accurate. Jeremiah Smith feasted 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns, the primary benefactor. That was year number 1. Just wait and see until who wins the Heisman in 2050. They'll be calling me Unc long before we get there. Stick around until the end of the video where I'll be ranking the top 5 Heisman winners from this video and ultimately crowning my favorite winner. You can win big too by soaking it up and subscribing to your boy KingSponge. Anyone else miss college football already? Well, in 2025, Will Howard's teammate Blake Horvath brings home the Heisman. Horvath led them to a 13-0 perfect season, ranked number 1, beating out quarterbacks to the liking of Jackson Arnold, Avery Johnson, Jalen Daniels, and Sawyer Robertson. A lot more precise than Will Howard, that's for sure. 3,300 yards, 37 touchdowns, less interceptions, and a whopping 75% completion rate. In fact, this completion percentage would be 5th best all time in the FBS, just behind Joe Burrow and ahead of Kellen Moore. Also solid with the legs, 700 rushing yards in 4 scores. And crazy enough, he was a completion extraordinaire while spreading the love to 5 guys pretty evenly. Must be a big fan of 5 Guys burgers and fries. We're already 2 seasons in out of 30, and Blake Horvath, the Navy quarterback transfer, wins it for Ohio State. We have 2 Buckeyes off the rip. Man was a beast for the midshipmen before transferring to the Buckeyes and leading him to the promised land. 87 speed, 87 throw power, 95 awareness. Talk about a season for the books. Nico Amaliva, definitely botched that, but he's your 2026 Heisman winner. Our first non-Buckeye atop the podium beat out Dylan Lonergan, John Mateer again, Trace Campbell, and Eli Holstein. Buddy was straight up 99 overall, elite dev, gold physical traits across the board, 99 accuracy, power, and IQ. What could go wrong? No doubt a fiend with 3,300 yards, 36 touchdowns, no interceptions. On the ground, he carried in 9 more totes, no fumbles, so notably no turnovers. In the big dance, however, Nico was not enough, losing 56-38 to Clemson in the first round. In 2027, it looks like Aiden Chillies finally got his big day with one heck of a campaign. 2 Trojans were battling it out atop the podium. Matt Sermon, a sophomore, and Aiden Chillies, the redshirt senior. I don't want to be disrespectful, but man's been tossed around a few teams, hasn't he? Insane stats, practically 4,000 passing yards, 51 tutties, and he too had a really good completion percentage just like Horvath. Not nearly as effective on the ground, but yeah, I can see how Matt Sermon was in the conversation. 18 snags, 1,300 yards, and Cornell with another 16 tutties and about 1,000 yards. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention Aiden Chillies up to a 99 overall, maxed out accuracy and IQ. Didn't Aiden have a run at Oregon State? All I see is Michigan State, an empty 2025 year before 2 killer seasons at USC. Love to see it out of the signal caller, but hate to see them get so far and fall short to Alabama. In 2028, Boomer Sooner Michael Hawkins Jr. in his senior season takes home the trophy. That's nice and all, but what about UTEP kicker of the year? Side tangent aside, Haas Henne, who is actually an Oklahoma State transfer in real life, was runner-up. Sophomore Tremont Triplett out of Liberty had a heck of a year. Jaden Rashad, a 99 overall, and AJ Surface, 96 for Rutgers, rounding out the list, but no match for Michael Hawkins out of Dallas. Only a 3-star impact dude, number 9, took his game to the next level. Pretty unique compared to some other quarterbacks we've already seen win the trophy is that he's like a 95 overall, or at least a 90 overall in every category. He can throw, and he's also one of the fastest, 94 speed, 96 excel. Stats don't lie, 3,800 yards, 44 touchdowns, 68% completion rate, but another 405 on the ground. You know, Heisman is Heisman. It's a great season, no doubt, but he's actually a little bit lower on my top 5 list right now. It is a neat little storyline to see pan out in college football 25. In 2021, Michael Hawkins Jr. was offensive newcomer of the year in high school. And then not to mention his dad, Mike Hawkins, was a former Oklahoma player, cornerback, and then had a stint in the NFL 2005 to 2009. It's not the first time that a USC quarterback has won the Heisman in this video. 2 Buckeyes, 2 Trojans, a Vol, and a Sooner. 6 straight quarterbacks. That's Matt Remiersma. Can confirm that Matt Remiersma is not a real player unless we're talking about senior IT project manager, which, yeah, I didn't think so. So that means we're in uncharted territory where there should be no more real names left on any roster, and this is the first Heisman winner to take it home. 37 touchdowns, 3 ins, 3,400 yards, 64 completion percentage, and rather mediocre on the ground. I know there'll be some eye-popping stats down the road, but Matt, this ain't it, dude. And it's no shame to you. You were deemed the best in your class over Ja'Cory Hunt, Thad, Damian Byrd, and Steven West. So you were definitely doing something right. It's just the Heisman caliber stats compared to the last 5 we looked at. This is probably the worst. And that's enough Matt slander. I don't feel as bad because he's not a real dude, but normal dev, 4-star out of high school, attribute locked. He can't get much better than this. So congrats on an anomaly of a season. One could argue that his 2028 campaign was an indicator of what's to come in 2029. After all, the team did finish 10-2, number 1 in the nation. Enough limelight for Matt. Let's head over to Stephen Wolf out of Miami, his senior season, taking home the 2030 Heisman Trophy. The 90 overall field general 4-star prospect from Central Florida made his state proud with 3,700 yards, 42 touchdowns, and 3 ins. Oof, let's not look too closely at the footnotes down there. His last game, a win over North Carolina, 8 for 24, 71 yards, 1 touchdown, an interception, sacked 3 times. Our guy didn't even crack 100 yards. Moving on, I guess that's better than Thad Loudermilk, Mateo Thus, Kenya Jones, and Mustafa, all senior quarterbacks that couldn't get it done like Steven could. First time in a minute that a non-senior wins the Heisman. 2031 at Dennis Robinson out of Nebraska. Dennis is certified 99 overall, a left-handed slinger. The star quarterback has practically peaked already in his junior campaign. And taking home the goods, the Heisman, 3,500 yards, 34 touchdowns, with 2 scores on the ground. Clearly his favorite receiver was Frank Efa. Again, don't get me wrong, great campaign, but 3 straight seasons of rather mediocre Heismans compared to now Aiden, who I wasn't given enough credit. The USC Trojan throwing for over 50 touchdown passes, that must be unheard of. Definitely going to keep my eye on Dennis to see if he can go back to back, but Ryan Dillard, Devin England were also juniors. Funny enough, England was a lefty as well. In 2031, something's brewing with the lefties. Not surprisingly, the Heisman winner led his team to a 1 seed, but surprisingly, they lose in the first round like a few other Heisman winning teams we've seen. A familiar name winning the Heisman in 2032, Devin England. A runner-up to the Nebraska lefty last season, he finally got his opportunity to shine. I guess he squeaked it out over Austin Holmes, even though he's higher on this panel. Sorry, Austin. And dunked on Jimmy, Andres, and Fernando. We knew it was coming for Devin. Elite Dev, 5-star out of Georgia, 96 overall, and a heck of a career at the Tar Heels. You can definitely argue his runner-up season was better. Less turnovers, but more touchdowns, more yards, better completion. The difference, no doubt, on the ground made the most of his opportunities, averaging almost 5 yards a carry and 10 scores. When you look at the guy that they quote-unquote snubbed, he threw 44 touchdowns, 3 ins, a lot more passing production, but that's about it. Not much of a factor on the ground, so the dual threat wins it. A better campaign than the last couple. He definitely gets an honorable mention. I like the way number 9 played. The streak is snapped in 2033. Our first non-QB, Andres Rojas, a runner-up in a previous season, I believe, for the Ducks, Heisman. The first since two-way Travis Hunter receiver DB won it in 2024. It's been 9 years. I guess he beat out Jalen Bridge, Frederick Shockey, Sal Adler, and Jamison Prince. I don't want to be that guy, but how did Rojas win Heisman with 900 yards, 8 touchdowns? Darren LeCount on his team alone had better production on 1 less catch. Did he rush the ball? It looks like he did. 5 scores, 330 yards. Okay, so he's kind of like a 2-way receiver running back. Dang, and I just noticed on 15 carries, so he did it with a really efficient clip, 22 yards per carry. Impressive season, no doubt, for the 6'1" Las Vegas native, but it still feels a little fluky, especially after he's on a major downturn after the last 2 years of elite performance. Like, oh my gosh, how did he not win it in 2032? We had 500 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns. They got him involved in both ways while putting up 17 scores in 1100. Yeah, this is a little strange. Congrats to the Ducks, another 1 seed claiming the Heisman winner. And sure, I'll tip my cap to the 94 speed, 97 change of direction, 99 ball carrier vision, and 99 overall route runner with max release and jump. No doubt he's got some tools. Oh man, Chester is a real menace. The 2034 Heisman winner, no doubt worth it in my eyes. 4,400 yards, 50 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. And then he tacked on 5 on the ground, fed Noah Ritzman, Kyle Fine, and Rico Lolito. I think what makes this even more impressive is that there's no one above 86 overall in his receiving room. Number 4, Elite Dev made do with what he got out of Bellevue, Illinois, and he's elusive as all get out, 99 break, sack, and agility. Started with Missouri before blossoming here as a Horned Frog. What a find. Chester Cherador beat out a couple freshman contenders in John Lemons and Jalen Maggio. These are the type of campaigns I was waiting for. The mid-2030s have bred some intensive quarterback battles. Nate Eagles, the latest junior Heisman winner, a snazzy 69% completion rate with 45 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. Man got it done. And wow, that's impressive. Only an 81 overall. He beat out Emmett Durbin, Taryn Luck, Devin Boyett, and Avery Carruthers. Only normal Dev, 3-star out of Chicago, hometown hero, 1 sick beard, first season ever starting. It might be time to put some more respect on his name. Next in line aboard the quarterback train is Trey Talbot. We're at that point in Dynasty, we're getting some fun scenarios playing out, like Marshall having a dude win that trophy. Pretty far off from current state Marshall, but hey, well done. The 91 overall star from South Carolina has an agile skill set, a knack for breaking sacks, and an improvising ability that let him compete off the bat in his first season starting. Initially, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't blown away, but then you see the rushing production and then understand what he was working with here. He fed Ismail for 16 touchdowns, 800 yards, a 74 overall receiver. Yep, safe to say Trey is soaring up my list. Jay Addington, the sophomore out of North Carolina State with the big one. Lefty scrambler, the future of the Wolfpack. If he doesn't hit the portal, he beat out Carswell, Lemons, Barco, and Robert Chukawara. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize the extent of how good of a season this was till you pop open the stat sheet. The lefty, 39 touchdowns, 2 ins, 77% completion. He is right there, tied for first, essentially, in FBS history with Bo Nix and Mac Jones. Better yet, he added 600 yards on the ground and 5 rushing touchdowns. As a sophomore phenom out of North Carolina, the native Elite Dev, maximum elusiveness, 99 agility, 99 change of direction, 91 speed, 98 carrying, 99 ball carrier vision. As a sophomore, this dude is like a dream team running back just playing the quarterback position. Wow, Jay Addington had a season for the books. Just the second time and on quarterbacks won it, 2038 Heisman, James Searles. The Gamecocks were on one this year. Leonard Free, runner-up in the Heisman, 2 teammates getting it done. True sophomore James, the 6'5" receiver, feasted for 75 snags, 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns, 91 a game. And okay, he also tacked one in on the ground. Leonard Free was serving him up dots, and that's got to be a sophomore receiver's dream to have a quarterback that caliber. Only in his sophomore campaign, he's NFL bound, no doubt. Deontay Brown from the Dogs, 2039 winner. Good enough to beat out old Heisman winner Jay Addington up to a 99 overall with platinum badges and everything. Probably one of the better Heisman winners we've seen. Couldn't hang in there with Fabian Chase, Enrique Cabrera, and Cliff Pratt because it was all Deontay Brown. 72% completion, 42 touchdowns, 8 scrambles on the ground, 500 yards. Really solid build. Just curious because Jay was a runner-up. He had another hectic season. Prolific on both sides of the ball. He's on pace to go down as one of the all-time college football greats. And we're over halfway through, about to enter the 2040 season. Let me know down below in the comment section who is your favorite Heisman winner thus far and who do you hope to see, or I should say, what team do you hope to see take home the trophy? And who knows, maybe the best season is still yet to come. Starting off the 40s right with Alex Kennedy, Washington State Cougs star sophomore, only a 78 overall. Platinum Press Pro helps. His prolific season edged Beckford, Cabrera again, Scott, and Blaine. Even more impressive, he had 2 quarterbacks throwing it to him all year, and he still put up these crazy numbers. To put it in perspective, these are better numbers than than Jeremiah Smith's freshman campaign. Yes, he is a sophomore, so this is what a potential surgent all-star sophomore year could look like for Jeremiah Smith. But what's most impressive is that Jeremiah Smith was like the top touted receiver. This dude, 6'5" out of Utah, 3-star normal development, just burst onto the scene in a major way. You could tell in his freshman campaign with 13 snags, he was going to be dangerous. Oh snap, I didn't even consider the fact that he had 7 rushing touchdowns on 15 carries. Half of them went for 6, including a 94-yard scamper to the house. That's more rushing touchdowns than any running back on this roster, and I think that changes everything for me, folks. That is one stellar season with 25 combined touchdowns. Scratch that, 26. All right, I don't want to be mean, but this has got to be one of the worst Heisman winners we've seen to date. Not even 3,000 passing yards. Glenn from Virginia Tech. Decent completion rate and one of the better seasons as a quarterback rusher that we've seen in a while. Still, despite all of that, we've seen much better. The class beneath him on the podium must have not been much better, with guys like Tyreek Berry falling short, the 99 overall lefty. It's been quite the hiatus since we've seen a Buckeye back on top. Wow, and Craig was no ordinary Buckeye. 3,600 yards, 46 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, 477 more rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. Spread the love across his receiving room, but 19 big touchdowns. Carl was a favorite in the red zone. This is the face of a man that knows he just had practically a flawless season in terms of execution. It's hard to beat out Craig with those kind of numbers. Earl tried, fell short. Flowers, Onadalu, and Stokely all down by way of Craig. Washington State, another Heisman winner in 2043. Rico Stokely was just scheming. 5th place in last year's vote. He is number 1 ahead of a few big names. What is up with the Cougs, man? A top 10 team the last few years. Another low 80 overall player getting it done. Incredible season, really. 3,800 yards, 47 touchdowns in an int, 318 yards per game, and 800 yards on the ground. Just 3 scores, but averaging almost 7 yards per carry. That is better than some big time running backs. That's almost Genty level clip, while busting 20 dudes. I don't know what they're feeding these dudes in the 2040s, but some real athletes are coming out. 4-star from Utah. He's got 91 power, 95 elusiveness, 99 agility and change of direction, no health concerns, and some wheels. Looks like the previous Heisman winner graduated, but they had 3 receivers spread out for double-digit touchdowns. Rico Stokely, scratching my head at why he's an 83 overall, but that's my type of quarterback. And at this time in the dynasty, I always enjoy looking at some of the All-American lists and other awards because you get a crazy mix of players. Case in point, first-team All-American running backs out of the MAC. Joshua Head definitely earned some head after this Heisman-like campaign. Longhorns finally got one. 3,900 yards, 44 touchdowns, 73% completion, while scrambling in another 9 and 500 yards. Safe to say our friend here from Katy, Texas, is a Texas star. Honestly, nothing pops out at you off the stat sheet. He's just good at everything. And even better, Head's just good at getting gooch. 10 touchdowns and 1,000 yards to his buddy, and good old Jerry pretty much did the same thing. Speaking of Jerry, he cracked in at 5th on this list. Johnny Law, Chuck Verling, and Isaiah Welsh, all runner-ups. The receivers continue to impress in the 40s. BJ Robinson's up next. And wow, that must be one heck of a receiver because Paul Wayne didn't win Heisman for Notre Dame. With those stats, it's shocking, but no doubt BJ Robinson was a machine. 22 big ones, 1,400 yards, 118 a game, and 7 rushing touchdowns with 460 yards on 27 carries. 17 yards per carry. The senior absolutely obliterated most of the other receiver seasons we've seen to date. And as a junior, he let everyone know he was legit, but I don't think anyone saw this coming. First time getting involved in the rushing attack as well. I'd say coaching well done here. I don't know how I don't see BJ Robinson's teammate, the quarterback that threw 48 touchdowns up here. So you're telling me these other 4 quarterbacks had even better seasons. Crazy. 2045 was stacked. After the last receiver we just saw, Ben Lelito from TCU, another TCU Heisman winner and a heck of a sophomore season. My only complaint is Ben Lelito was his 4th option on this team. They preferred Garrett Graves, then Fidu Stoneburner, Cam Jackson, and then Ben got looks. It looks like he was the red zone soaker grabbing those touchdowns, but his teammates outdid him, and he's the Heisman winner. Let's just peek at the rushing stats. Now, don't get me wrong, that is impressive as well. 5 rushing touchdowns, 11 yards a carry, 38 carries. To me, he really seems like a gadget Debo-like player, 5'9", exactly like that archetype. Great elusiveness, route running, and quickness. No doubt a great player, as they were #1 in the nation, but honestly, one of the more disappointing Heisman winners yet. Another Wolfpack quarterback with a prolific season. Derek Grubbs was grubbing all over the competition. 4,200 yards, 53 touchdowns on 70% completion. Even felt generous enough to cash in 4 rushes, but Noah Burns loved what Grubbs had to offer. 22 big scores. Another North Carolina hometown hero. 95 overall. Grubbs wasn't the fastest, but he had a way to shake and bake. 99 agility, 91 break sack, with unlimited potential in the accuracy and arm department. That might just be the most passing touchdowns from a Heisman winner since Aiden back at USC. What must be our 4th Buckeye winner in 2048, Gabe Board, was flat out bored with the competition and won it all. Once again, top-notch stuff from a quarterback and solid ground game. Not gonna lie, there's not much else to see here. We've seen quite a few guys like Gabe Board. What's special is that 99 acceleration, but man, just a 5-star prodigy from Dallas, Georgia, getting it done. Finishing up the 2040s with another receiver, Enrique Marquez from Texas, with Martini throwing him the ball, 50 touchdowns. It's easy to see how he had plenty of opportunities to feast. 1,400 yards, 90 grabs, 18 touchdowns. Didn't do as much as a rusher as compared to some of the other Heisman receiver winners, but in all fairness, just a really solid year. His teammate Martini, a runner-up, and there were 3 Longhorns in the top 5. Cook, his other teammate, cracked in there with freshman Stephen Blair and George Mon. What's up, Mon? Something's in the air with North Carolina State, officially their 3rd Heisman quarterback winner. Already had one of the best I've seen. Back in the late 2030s, Hooks continues the long lineage, beating out Martini. We saw him last year. Marshall dudes keep getting on the list. Even missing a game here where Zach filled in through 4 touchdowns. Hook managed to put up 51 on 3,700 yards. 6 more rushing touchdowns, about 500 yards. The receiver room just continues to feast. Ben Lincoln, 23 touchdowns. Who are these guys and how do they keep finding them? I could be wrong, but Alabama finally has got their guy. Heisman winner Kevin Dedrick. It only took until 2051 to get a quarterback putting up 3,500 yards, 42 touchdowns, with another 8 on the ground. Yep, we've seen these scrambler builds before. Solid package here for the star sophomore. Great intangibles, 96 throw power, good enough to top the list. I'm about to end off this video. We got another Wolfpack quarterback winning Heisman. The 2030s, 40s, and 50s littered with these guys. Zach Juszczyk, 88 overall senior from Mount Holly, North Carolina, fed his man Alex Butker. They tag teamed and met up on the podium, just like Pippen and Leon did, but they just couldn't do it to the same level of Zach and Alex. It's a quarterback factory at NC State. Zach didn't do much with his legs, which is surprising given he is a scrambler build and his ratings are decent. Really surprised of all the quarterbacks that he got it done. The offensive scheme must be just on point. And folks, that's going to take us into our final season. We'll wrap it up here with 2053. Who's going to take home the Heisman? I hope you've been soaking it up and enjoying with your boy KingSponge. Right after we see the Heisman winner, I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite winners, and then I'll choose one as the ultimate victor. Did we save the best for last stat-wise? I don't think so, but it is a fascinating finish. Jacksonville State got a winner. I'm definitely a fan of seeing the little school get a big win. 43 touchdowns, 70% completion, 4,100 yards. Alex with 700 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns as well. How did Jack State land an elite dev 4-star 98 overall slinger? Maximum spin move and elusiveness? No way. 96 break sack, 95 speed, 99 stamina, 92 throw power, 99 stamina. He may not be top 5 in most impressive stat lines we saw. Little too many turnovers, but no doubt probably one of the most fun archetypes we've seen. Platinum Magician, Option King, Extender, some of my favorite badges, and then insane spin move, speed, throwing, nuts. Well earned there to cap off the video, your 2053 winner. Okay, now back into the war room. We have a top 5 to reveal. Before I get into my list, let me know down below in the comment section who your favorite Heisman winner was of the entire video. I'm gonna start off with number 5 on the list, and it's technically a tie because I couldn't figure it out. I was between either the 2050 North Carolina State quarterback, man had 50 plus passing touchdowns, 500 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, insane stats. There were so many Wolfpack quarterbacks. Or Blake Horvath from like the beginning, the second Heisman winner in the video. That's right, the Navy transferred to Ohio State. He was prolific as ever as a passer, but even better as a rusher, 700 plus rushing yards while being uber efficient, 75% completion, which put him at number 5 all time in completion percentage. Before I go any further, honorable mentions that didn't quite make that spot, but were on the fringe. Trey Talbot, 2036 Marshall quarterback with 600 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, 3,000 plus passing yards, 36 touchdowns, and only 1 turnover. What about Nico from the beginning as well? 36 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, 9 on the ground as well. Aiden from USC, over 50 passing touchdowns and 4,000 yards. I could go on and on, but there were a lot of great ones. Number 4 on the list, it's gonna go to Alex Kennedy, number 19 from Washington State. The sophomore receiver in his campaign had 19 receiving touchdowns, 1,300 receiving yards, 300 plus rushing yards, and 7 rushing touchdowns, all while being a 78 overall 3-star normal dev. The 2040 Heisman winner was special. Number 3, keep climbing up the ranks. I gotta give it to another receiver, arguably the best receiver on this list that we saw. B.J. Robinson could be a clear case for number 1. In 2045, he had 89 receptions, 1,400 receiving yards, 22 receiving touchdowns, 500 rushing yards, and 7 rushing touchdowns, averaging 17 yards per carry. The Notre Dame product put up a receiver season like I've never seen before. That's just next tier. Okay, winding down to the final 2. At number 2, Rico Stokely. I was stoked to see what we had here in another Washington State product, 2 in the top 5. That's right, the 2043 Heisman winner with 47 touchdowns, 1 interception, 3,800 plus passing yards, 70% completion, but with 800 plus rushing yards as a quarterback, averaging nearly 7 yards per carry, almost an Ashton Genty type clip. Better than half of the running backs in the FBS, while also casually putting up like 4,000 yards and 47 passing touchdowns. Last but not least, when I reviewed the footage, there was only one clear answer in my eyes. I mean, all these dudes, insane Heisman winners, but it goes to the 2037 Heisman winner, Jay Addington from North Carolina State. He was a sophomore quarterback, just was a runner-up as a freshman. The lefty scrambler came out, dropped 3,600 yards. Okay, cool. Not the most yards we've seen, but 39 passing touchdowns. Okay, cool. Only 2 turnovers, 600 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. Cool. We saw a lot of builds like that, but what set him apart, 77% completion rate. That puts him at number 1 in the FBS for highest completion rate in a single season, passing guys like Joe Burrow. When you have a monster season like that and break records, I have to crown you the champion of this video. Jay Addington is a big-time KingSponge fan, and he knows if you want to catch the freshest college football content, if you want to keep soaking it up, you got to hit that subscribe button down below and let me know what you want to see next.